Erin.
I'm Bryant. We are here today to tell you a story, and we'll start with where we came from,
Where we're going.
and more importantly, how we're going to get there. And so it all started on one misty day.
No.
It all started back in when?
7th grade homeroom.
7th grade homeroom. So a girl walks in and she had pink Converse on, pink hoop earrings, big old pink hoops, all this stuff. And I was like, holy baby.
New
And that's where it
school.
started.
Yep. New school, didn't know anyone. And I guess I was lucky. My maiden name was Messner.
Yep.
So we were going to
Sat
be in
right
homeroom
behind me.
together. Yep. And lockers right beside each other too.
Yep. And so our lives pretty much changed from then on. We were, of course, as kids, back and forth.
Right.
Probably broke up and went back out 100 times. But it wasn't until you said no on like 99th time that I was like, no, I can't do that ever again. So fast forward anyways, and 10th grade, 11th grade, What happens? We forgot the song.
We forgot the song. Yes. The Erin and Bryant sitting in a tree. Yeah. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby. So we kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm pregnant.
Baby, yay. So Kenzie's in 11th grade, and it was like, well, I guess I'm joining the Air Force, and that's what I did. And so went into the Air Force. We were too afraid to go to what was it? San Francisco, right outside of Oakland or something like that.
Whatever
California,
the base, whatever the
basically.
base was outside of San Francisco. We were too chicken.
Too chicken. So we traded to go to Montana.
Yep, Great Falls, Montana.
And so we thought that everybody was going to look like a lumberjack. They didn't.
No, and not everyone had snowmobiles to get to work.
They didn't have snowmobiles to get to work. It was just like regular people. Wow. So where Ryan was born there.
Yep.
And we were married and we were adults.
We were.
I was 19.
Yes.
And you were 20.
I was 20. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were in the clear.
Yep. I don't think we look like it though.
No, I don't think we look like it either. I think we look like babies. So Ryan born in a blizzard, and then we decided we want to be adventurous. And we were really adventurous.
Yeah. Like we hadn't already been adventurous enough.
Pretty much.
Driving cross country and a rear-wheel drive 84 Cressida in a blizzard.
So we decided to pull all that up and went on a special duty assignment for NATO to the Netherlands.
Yep.
And that was super fun, but of course we're young.
We're young, and after
scared.
2 years, you're like, this has been fun. I'm homesick.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
And so we did that for 3 years.
Yep.
And we traveled all over the place.
Yep.
And we traveled in the rain with kids. Like it didn't matter. Like we went everywhere basically.
We did. It was a really good experience.
Yeah.
Definitely shaped good thing that we did. I'm really glad we got a chance to do it, but we couldn't wait to get home. Oh, we couldn't wait to get home. Oh, want to come home.
So we got back home to Langley. And so we're in Virginia, at least not like right at home, but we're, at least in the same state that we grew up. And we had been there for a couple years or so, and we decided like, what are we going to do for the future? And so you decided that we're going to go into real estate.
Yeah, I got my real estate license.
And there you go. So we get the real estate license and we're like, so how does all this work? We didn't know anything.
Right. I passed my exams and now I'm ready, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Where do I sell stuff?
Right.
Luckily, there was nobody on the internet. And so I figured out how to build a web page, built one. Nobody had them. And so we just cleaned house pretty much.
We did.
It was super easy.
It was hard work, but
it was super
like,
easy to get the leads.
Too many leads to even handle,
Right.
But it built our sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the easiness lasted a couple of years.
Right.
And then it was gone in a flash
Well, it was
because every single person
everyone
had
was
a
doing it.
website
Everyone and businesses and everything.
businesses,
Everyone got
everything.
on the bandwagon
Yep.
because they saw
Yep.
how important it was. So.
And so we really had to reinvent ourselves.
Mhm.
And by doing that, it's like, where do you get your leads from? Where you're like, what do you do?
What do you do?
And so we did the best we could and basically pounded the pavement
Right.
to get leads. And we've tried pretty much everything. I mean, we were on the movie theater, magazines,
Right.
TV,
Mm-hmm.
postcards, like pretty much you name it. We
Mm-hmm.
tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2000, I was out of the Air Force.
Right.
Things were going very well.
Mm-hmm.
2008 hits, and
Yeah.
like in a heartbeat, everything crashed.
Yeah.
That was
It was tough
a tough time.
because it had been a really good time for a long time.
We're
And
pretty resilient, but it was like that was hard to have everything crash and
lose everything. You know?
and when your door locks on your house are getting changed.
That,
Even if you know it's coming,
you know, it's coming. That is
a
a
tough
that is a
thing to
that
swallow.
is a humbling experience, and particularly when you haven't had any issue paying your bills,
Yep.
taking care of things, and hey, that was tough. You
Yep.
get yourself back up and all, but that's really hard.
Really tough.
It humbles you.
Big time. So we moved closer to family. So moved to Richmond, and there was some good parts about that. But again, it's like, what do we do? And especially like, what do we do right now? Like, we literally have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and worked at Olive Garden,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the worst server in the world because all of these people would come sit at the table and I would like talk to them like, their friends and stuff. And like, I
Right.
would do all of the scripts that we were supposed to do and like offer them all of the things or whatever. And they're like, we have had a great time. And I'm like, well, that's good because it's been 7.5 hours since you got here.
Is anyone not going to get the endless, breadsticks and salad and water? Yeah.
And so then I would get my $3 tip. And at the end of the night, when everybody was like, I have made 60, I made 100. And I'm like, I have $23.
That's right. That's right.
But it was 23 more than I had.
Exactly. So we made do.
And we made sales here and there, and it wasn't all bad.
It wasn't all bad. Mm-hmm.
But it's just you have to regroup and figure things out.
Right.
I started 2 different businesses, sold both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that I could essentially build a small business.
Right.
You knew that you could sell houses.
Right.
And then we needed to put that together again.
Right.
And figure it out, or just do something else.
Call it a day. There were some good years, then there were some really, really rough years. And I think it was really about that 2011, 2012 timeframe that it was like, all right, enough is enough. Are we doing this or not?
And so 2011, it was the second business was sold. And it was, let's give it everything we've got.
Yep.
And if by this time next year, we're not in a much different position, then we're done with
That's
this.
Done.
Like,
I don't know what we're going to do, but it can't be this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't happen like that. We got ourselves right back up.
Right. By March of 2012, already had, tripled what we had done in 2011.
Yeah.
So it was,
and
we decided and it
different
happened.
than before is
Different.
You were selling.
Yes.
I was running the business.
Right.
And that's how we've kept it ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
And that works much better than it did before.
It does.
And so, you're talking 2012 to 2020, and we did very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, it's like we did very, very well, killing ourselves trying to sell as much as possible and make as much money as possible. But it's like, what are you actually making for the time that you've put in?
Right.
It's still a decent amount, but it's like the time you have to put into.
At what expense?
Yeah.
At what expense?
And we're just running you into the ground, pretty much.
And we're both people that enjoy what we do. I mean, we're passionate about real estate. We're passionate about helping people. And this business has always been our baby.
Hmm.
So working was not the problem. It's not
Right.
like we aren't grateful and we don't love
Right.
that, but it is
100-hour weeks
that's going to
wears on you
wear on
after a while.
anyone. Everyone can say, do what you love and you won't work a day in your life.
But it
You
becomes
obviously
work.
haven't been in real estate because you're going to work every day of your life.
And no vacation, no, well, we always did vacation, but
Right.
we worked during it.
Right.
And that's the thing is like, there's no holidays off. There's none of that stuff. So we got to 2020 and I remember somebody asking us a question, and you remember what that was?
And it was, if you were someone else, would you follow you?
Yes. And both of us looked at each other and were like,
like,
no
no.
way.
No.
Like, I would not wish this on anybody.
Right. Oh, we could teach you how to we're going to teach you how to work yourself to death.
Yes. I mean, you'll make a lot of money.
You'll
You'll
spend
have
a
a lot
lot
of sales.
and
You'll
you'll
spend a lot of money.
and you're going to run yourself into the ground.
And you're going to run yourself into the ground. And it's like, would I follow that?
No.
Like, no.
No, not even to someone you don't like all that much. That's no way to live.
So we knew that since we're like 84, 83 years old.
Right, right.
We look amazing for our age.
No, we know each other well enough that at a
there
certain
had to be
point,
a change.
there had to be a change. There was no choice. There was no choice.
And we couldn't also give up the way that we live either.
No.
Especially, I mean, everybody thinks that you got that car to look cool.
Right.
But it's like you got a Tesla
to be extremely practical
and to be safe.
And to be safe.
Because
yes.
we do not like Erin on the road texting, putting on makeup, doing her hair, eating some McDonald's maybe at the same time.
No, something healthier for sure.
Something healthier, okay. And that's the thing is like it is super safe, super practical.
Yes.
And nobody would think that because it also looks cool.
Right.
And we don't want to give up those things.
No. And we had found an amazing house in 2016, bought a house. It's great to be at that point again that you like turn around, but a really practical home and a really affordable home, no matter what.
And so either income has to go up but time can't go up.
You can't change the time.
So you could either increase the cost of the houses that you're selling,
I guess. Yep.
Instead of selling houses that are 350, 400, whatever.
Right. You got to step it up to another range, and then whatever, you just got to do everything possible, and you just have to sell more.
You can't clone yourself.
No, you just have to sell more.
You just have to sell more. And
how are you going to work harder?
Have done that.
I don't know, but it was just like, well, there's no choice.
Yeah.
And I think we both had kind of hit the point that it's like, what, I can't do this anymore.
Got to be a better way than running yourself on a treadmill forever and hoping that nothing goes wrong.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so that's when we found EXP. And then EXP is one of those things that it's like, you don't know you're looking for it until you find it.
Right. And then you're like,
why didn't they did think of it 10 years ago. Why didn't we know about it 10 years ago?
Right.
And it is basically the way that things, it's just the next step in the evolution of selling real estate.
Right.
That it's like you needed those franchises in 1970 or whatever it was that they started, because it was a way of getting past the traditional broker that paid for everything, paid for your leads, and all you had to do was go sell houses and look through that giant book.
Right.
And that was a way of being able to give people the option of building a franchise.
Sure.
And having that national brand. And now you can have something grow in a matter of months and be worldwide. And here we go, EXP.
Right.
40,000 something agents and
very short amount of time. Right.
And so we didn't know it was going to be this good. But we have found our path.
We have found our path, and that feels really good.
And it's a combination of the model at EXP and the network of agents that we've found, that they are amazing at what they do.
Right.
So anything that we've ever thought that we do very well at this, they're at least 10 times ahead of that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many of them on so many different paths that it's whatever you want to do, if you want to be an influencer, there are
Here are
people
the
that
people you
are
need to talk to. Yep.
influencers in real
And here are
estate.
the people that want to talk to you.
Yes. And that is their passion.
Right. You don't have to
It's like,
chase them down.
right,
They're calling you.
right. You want people that can take over a neighborhood and be like a neighborhood mayor.
Right.
There are people that have that down to a science.
Right.
People that do internet leads, they have that down to a science. People that are great at building relationships, they have that down to a science. And there's so many good people, and they've shared everything freely,
Right.
because
Getting compensated
they're
for
getting
it.
compensated for it.
You're being
That's why we help each other.
That's right. You're being essentially paid for your knowledge, for your consulting. It
Yeah.
really is not that different from real estate, but it isn't so driven completely on you.
Right.
It isn't all on your action.
Right. And the only way to do that is what they did is they basically took the best models that were out there
Mhm.
and went, okay, if we make them a little bit better, because the best training, best everything, like best systems, if we make them a little bit better and improve on those,
Mhm.
but we also eliminate some of the big, huge things that take up so much money,
Right.
then we can have something super special and just let the agents build the company,
Because the agents are the owners.
because the agents are the owners. And that's pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
And it's like, is it that simple? It is.
It is, which doesn't seem like it'd be that way, but it's super simple.
And it obviously works. And everybody's taken notice now. But our path, like, sort of describe, like, what would you say our path before was? Work and work and work and work until you're dead.
Right.
And we always would say, I remember you always saying, like, well, I'm going to work anyways until I'm dead, so I don't really care.
Right.
But it's like, as you get older,
Right.
you can't.
You can't. And all of a sudden you start caring.
And you do.
You can kick it into gear, but you just don't quite kick it into gear the way you did when you were in your 20s and
Right.
30s. And you just don't, it changes what you want. But yeah,
And so our path now,
Mhm.
what would you say that path is?
I would say it's a lot like if you're walking through a forest and you are heading somewhere and you are dropping breadcrumbs behind you
Mhm.
as you go along, and there are other agents, they're seeing that you've found your path and you're successful and you're going along, and they're noticing changes about you, and they kind of get in the path behind you and start following behind you, and they start dropping their breadcrumbs, and then other people start noticing them and following behind them and dropping their breadcrumbs on into infinity. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it's like.
And that's pretty much what it is like. And the thing is, it's almost like people are also picking up the breadcrumbs that you leave behind,
Yes.
investing them for you
There you go.
without
Yes.
you even knowing about it.
Right.
And then you look at your account and you're like, holy crap, I've $58,000 in this thing. Like, what happened? I didn't even know I did it.
Right.
And that's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
And
Just from doing what you normally do.
and guess what? It's like everyone behind you,
Right.
you are helping to be successful, because if they're successful, you're successful.
Right.
And
They're going on their path.
and they're on their path. And the network that we are a part of, they're doing the same thing for us. So it just it flows the way it's supposed to. Is like, we've learned from them,
Right.
all of these different systems, and there's so many of them. And now we can pass those along, and hopefully it keeps getting passed along and getting passed along. And that's how you teach people to be super good agents. Teach them to what else?
Just teaching them to be on the path and how to create their own path, and also to not run themselves to the ground,
Yeah.
to do things the right way.
And get to a point that it's like, for us, it was like, it would be nice if we make a very good living. It would be nice to have double.
It'd be nice to have double. Right.
It really would.
And
It'd be nice to have double and to be able to travel a lot. And we work during vacations a lot, but it's like, we'd like to go on a vacation every other month.
right. We like
And
to travel and go somewhere, and because getting away, and because this business, as we all know, it is very hard on you.
Yeah.
You need to step back. You need to relax. but
And
it's nice
it's
to be
our
able to do it.
kids are
Grown.
they're
Everybody's
grown. They're
grown.
in their mid-20s, both,
Right.
which is insane.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're in their mid-20s and we're only in our early 30s, but somehow it
It's a
works.
miracle.
But it's like we have a lot of time and we want to do a lot of things. We've done a lot of things. We always put focus on going on vacation and making memories,
Right.
and we've made a lot of them.
Mhm.
And we're ready to make some bigger, better ones and
Absolutely.
be able to bring them and their families
Exactly.
with us.
Exactly. And not being able to do that and not having to go, all right, well, I'm going to have to kill myself this year to make that happen.
Right. That it's like we've got these many vacations. And so it's like, all right, for this month, we got to do this, we got to do that. And now we're at a point where it's like, if we, just we as in you're the one that does
Right.
the real estate sales, that it's like if you did 30 sales,
Mhm.
we're totally fine with
I'm
that.
perfectly fine.
And have we're within, I mean, because we're already a quarter of the way there. So we're within about 2 years of being to where we've doubled our money,
Yes.
doubled our income, and it lasts forever.
Right.
And so you can sit there and look at it and go like, all right, I can make 30 sales a year
Right.
and I don't have to make any more, but the income that I have, the money that is in the bank
Right.
is 2 times what I used to make selling 50 houses.
Right.
That
Right.
that's a big
Right.
difference too.
Right.
We wanted to double what we were doing, but also cut the amount of sales almost in half,
Yeah.
you know? Um, that's a big thing that I don't even think we thought about before, that it was like, no, we don't want to sell 60, 70 houses for you just by
Right.
yourself in a year. It'd be nice to do half of that, but double our income.
Right.
And within 2 years, we're going to do that. And it's going to happen.
Right. And it's amazing to be able to look at it and go, even me can look at it and go, yes,
Yeah.
that's easy for me to see.
Yeah.
That's possible.
hmm And if we had a started this 10 years ago, I mean, we could,
Yeah.
um,
Just like if
we
you
would have been there
invested
a long
earlier,
time
of
ago,
course you would have, but you didn't.
but you didn't.
And you had
But the good thing
experiences, and
is it's been 9 months and we're a quarter of the way there,
that's right.
because of the people that have taught us how to maximize our time, maximize our efforts, maximize our systems, to
Hmm.
where you're making money the way that you should be, based off of all of the things that you bring to the table.
Right. And you're making more money, but you have regained your life back.
Right.
And so that you truly can be the best agent and
Right.
the best uh, wife, the best mom, the best friend.
Everything.
And that's a really good feeling to have that. So
Yeah.
you're helping people, and you're also helping yourself, and also you have this new opportunity that you can share with other people so that they can find their path too.
Right. And for you, I know, I mean, you were one of these people that it's like you want to share and you want to have the time to show a newer agent,
Of
how to do
course.
things,
Of course.
but it's like you never had time to do that.
I'd get little bursts, I'd help someone if I could and all, but it's not consistent. I can't
Right.
consistently commit to that.
And if you did, what would have happened?
A business would have suffered,
Business would have suffered.
right? And then I'm not going to be happy about things because now
Right.
I'm letting my clients down.
Right. And so this is just a system that it's like you don't have to work yourself to death, and you have the time to share your knowledge with others, so that you have really, honestly, the best agents in the world.
Right.
And putting all those things together, and they say one big fire all the time, and it's like it really is that. It's like taking
It is one big fire, and it's just like,
40,000 matches and you're going to make something amazing.
hmm,
And you're going to really figure out how to make it 10 times bigger because of all the heads being put together.
right.
And so it's a very simple system, um, but it works extremely well. And the tools and systems and paths, choices
right?
that we have what
Been exposed
been
to,
exposed to.
and that you're just surrounded by.
Yeah,
And that can be like intimidating. Usually, I would be intimidated by that, and
but it's inspiring
it's
because
inspiring. It
all
does.
of the people that we know and that we've met are so welcoming because again, they're making money
Right.
by helping you.
That's right. It just naturally makes you feel like, oh, this is great. I want to share
Right.
this.
And that's the biggest part of it is they're being compensated for that. So they desperately want to help you increase your efficiency,
Right.
increase your systems, everything.
And these are people that have come into real estate for the same reasons that we came into real estate. It was not to make a quick buck or to
No,
make money.
no,
It's to help people. It's
right,
that this is something that you would enjoy and you can do. And it's awesome to watch other people that feel that same way and they already have that giving spirit.
right.
We're compensated in real estate for our
Hmm.
knowledge, for our
Right,
services. That is what we're compensated. Why not? Why would that be wrong to be compensated for consulting and advising and helping others
right.
up the way too? Kind of
Exactly,
putting your hand down and helping them up the mountain
exactly.
with you on the
And
same
teaching
path.
them how to be an exceptional agent without sacrificing their entire life
Exactly.
and the life of their family. And that's the biggest gift that you can give back to someone by showing them this system.
It's time.
Time,
Time.
time with your family, but still being able to make an incredible income.
Hmm.
And I'm looking forward to our 8 vacations. I know we're going on 8 this year,
I
so
know. I'm.
it'll be
You know
fun.
me. I love. Woohoo! We're going
And
somewhere.
if you want to figure out how to do this, you're in the right place,
That's
pretty
right.
much.
Please reach out to us. We'd
Yeah,
love to tell you about it. And our path isn't necessarily going to be your path, but we can show you all the other ways you can
all
do
of the other
things.
ways. There's a million ways. All right, that's pretty much all I
That's
got.
it. Great to see you. Hope